Can you hear me? Yes. Good evening and welcome to the 2021 ilab Pitch Night. My name is Ben Hallett and I am the co-founder and CEO of Vigo, and I will be your MC for this evening. Now, thank you very much. That's good. I appreciate that. Now, it wasn't too long ago that I was actually part of ilab myself, and my company Vigo went through this cohort, and I understand what these teams are feeling right now. This is a very exciting night for them, for you guys. You get to see what they've been doing. They have been sprinting hard for the last 3 months, and what they've achieved in these last 3 months are absolutely phenomenal. And tonight, they're going to need all of your energy, all of your sympathy, all of your support to really celebrate what they've done and get through this. These guys are running back-to-back marathons. They've just finished one. They're about to do another on their journey to change the world. So it's my absolute pleasure to introduce you guys and bring you guys in tonight. From mining, fintech, to medtech and sustainability, we have a really diverse cohort of teams that will be taking the stage and impacting the world. Before we jump into that, we're going to do a few housekeeping items. Number one, exits down the back and to the side. Bathrooms on both sides, the left and the right. Anything wrong or any questions, please feel free to approach the UQ Ventures staff wearing black t-shirts. Can you put their hands up, guys, wherever you are? Yep, there's a couple around. Nimrod will take most of the questions. After all the pitching, we will be moving into the surrounding areas outside of this main area, around the bar, where you guys will have the opportunity to meet all the founders. So they're going to be sitting at teams. You'll be able to come up to them, ask all your questions, give them all your bank details, everything that you need. So now, while you are able to take your mask off while seated, please remember that you have to have your mask on when you're moving around the venue, and you need to be seated while you're eating and drinking. All right. That is the housekeeping. Social media reminder. Of course, I'd love you to be sending out all the hashtags you can tonight. Please be active. But the hashtag that you need to be using, most of all, is hashtag ilab2021. On the screen, maybe? Okay, it'll be on the screen later. So it'll work across all your major platforms. This event is also being live streamed tonight. I'm not sure where the camera is, but there's lots of people watching this around the globe. Even some of the teams will be watching this from around the globe. Now, we need to move on to the main event. First of all, to get us underway, I'd like to introduce and welcome to the stage Professor Deborah Terry AO, Vice Chancellor and President of the University of Queensland, to give the welcoming address. Deborah.
Thank you very much, Ben, and thank you for being our MC tonight. Obviously, very impressed with all that you have achieved. Can I begin by acknowledging the traditional owners and their custodianship of the lands on which we meet here tonight? I'd like to pay my respects to their ancestors and to their descendants as we walk together on the path to reconciliation. And can I obviously start off by thanking Jessica Gallagher, Nimrod Clayman and the entire Ventures team for all of their hard work in preparing for tonight, and obviously for inviting me to speak. It really is a great pleasure for me to be here. The ilab Pitch Night is a very special occasion in our annual calendar. And of course, it's a greater opportunity for all of us to witness the entrepreneurial spirit of our UQ community come to life. But it's also much more than that. For all of us, I think tonight is a chance to be inspired by the bold and inventive vision of the founders we're going to hear from tonight as they seek to make a positive impact on the world. Now, I think all of us as Australians can feel rightfully proud that we do live in an incredibly inventive nation. If you consider the inventions that Australia has given to the world, and often, we're not fully aware of all of these. IVF, the bionic ear, ultrasound, Wi-Fi. Can you imagine life without Wi-Fi? And of course, the cervical cancer vaccine, Gardasil, that was originally developed at UQ. It's because of life-changing inventions like these, that's why Australia is regarded as a global powerhouse when it comes to breakthrough R&D and discovery science. And we often talk about that. Australia punches above its weight in R&D and what we call discovery science. However, it is argued that by many, and this is a conversation that's happening nationally at the moment, that we haven't really had as strong an entrepreneurial tradition as we need, or what's often referred to as a robust innovation culture. We really need to have that, and we often think about other places around the world, like Israel, Silicon Valley, etc., that are much stronger in terms of innovation culture. We need that in Australia to match our strengths in research and discovery science, because it's research and discovery science that leads to the big breakthroughs. And this is a shame, because it's absolutely critical that we do this if we are to drive social and economic benefits for Australia. So there is actually increasing recognition that this is a problem that we need to solve across government, across industry, and across academia. And there's a lot of activity at the moment focused on how do we create a more effective innovation ecosystem here in Australia, particularly as we seek to drive our recovery from the pandemic. And this is a particular focus at the moment for the federal government, who are certainly very keen to identify new ways to incentivise innovation and collaboration. And it's also a focus for industry and for many of us who obviously work in university leadership. Now, I'm very proud to say that UQ actually stands apart from and ahead of many other Australian universities when it comes to promoting innovation in our community. We were, as a university, one of the very early universities to actually establish a separate company, in our case UniQuest, to manage our intellectual property. And that occurred in 1984. And UniQuest has long been the leading tech transfer company here in Australia. It's created more than 100 startups, and the technologies that UQ has licensed through UniQuest have amassed more than $32 billion in sales globally. But UniQuest is only part of the story, because obviously its purpose is to work with our researchers to protect their intellectual property, and then to help that intellectual property be translated, licensed and commercialised. But our Ventures program, and what obviously we'll be celebrating tonight, goes even further. But it also has a different purpose and a different audience. Its mission is to activate our broader student and alumni community to develop that entrepreneurial mindset and that venturing spirit. So through our Ventures program, we aim to prepare our students and alumni for a rapidly changing workplace, irrespective of what sector you end up working in. And of course, we also hope to equip more of our graduates with the confidence they need to start their own business and to become job creators themselves. And as many of you will know, UQ Ventures offers this support in all sorts of ways. And I'm delighted to report that participation in our various Ventures programs keeps growing year on year. Last year, almost 13,000 people, which is very impressive, from across the community participated in one of our Ventures programs, and that included more than 5,000 UQ students. But out of all of the programs that we offer through UQ Ventures, undoubtedly the ilab Accelerator is the peak program. And of course, tonight is the pinnacle of that program. So I'm delighted to be here tonight. I'm certainly uplifted by the knowledge that we're encouraging, investing in and supporting the talented entrepreneurs in our community. And the 12 groups that we're going to hear from this evening have all spent the past 3 months bringing their business ideas to life. And as they've been working on their business, UQ has supported each of these startups with a $10,000 equity-free grant, as well as connecting them with the mentors, the resources and potential investors to accelerate their success. So I think, as we're all about to see, this year's cohort of the ilab Accelerator is an incredibly diverse group. The founders of these 12 early-stage ventures are seeking, as we've already heard from Ben, to make a difference across a wide range of industries: education, mining, IT, finance, sustainability, hospitality, health and medical equipment. But despite this diversity, I know that we'll see tonight that these founders all have something in common. They have a great deal in common. They're all seeking to build businesses that are founded on a clear purpose. They really are fueled by passion to make a difference, and to me, these are the absolute qualities of successful entrepreneurs everywhere around the world. It's about passion and purpose. So I wish everybody all the best tonight. I'm certainly looking forward to hearing some of the pictures. Thank you very much for your commitment, and thank you very much for your involvement in this program, because it's not only important for the program and the university, it's actually important for our shared future. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Professor Terry. So now is the time for us to introduce our expert panel. So these guys will be putting the team through their paces and asking brief questions after each pitch. On the panel, we have the wonderful Leanne Kemp. Can you give us a wave? Yes. Thank you. There you go. Founder and CEO of Everledger and former Queensland chief entrepreneur. Her company Everledger uses blockchain technology to track high-value assets such as diamonds, art, and wine, with the aim of increasing transparency and trust with technology. Leanne Kemp, everybody. Next up, we have Tanya Titman, Head of Strategic Innovation, BDO Australia, and founder of Accelerator. Tanya has established multiple businesses with global reach and has received a number of industry awards. Tanya was the managing director of Consolidate, an innovative accounting practice based here in Brisbane and servicing clients throughout Australia, until the practice was merged with BDO in 2019. Tanya Titman, everybody. And finally, unfortunately, Luke Ania couldn't join us tonight, one of the scheduled judges, but even better, we've got the amazing James Fielding, who has stepped in to save the day. James is the founder and CEO of Ordera and is also an ilab alumni. Ordera is revolutionizing the listening experience with the world's first full-fidelity headphones with built-in hearing tests. They are having an extremely exciting year this year and expect to be listing on the ASX quite soon. Luke, James, everybody. Cheers, mate. All right, so thank you all for being here tonight. We do have 12 teams tonight. This is its own little marathon, so please keep your energy there. Don't forget about the ilab hashtag as well, ilab 2021. So the way the pitches will work, each team will be introduced on stage, and then we'll have about 2 questions from the judging panel. We will have to cut you guys off at two minutes per question. And tonight, we should need to know that tonight is not a competition. However, there is a competition happening. UQ is awarding a $5,000 cash prize, and BDO is giving a sponsored place valued at $8,350 for the next BDO startup program. So, after all the pitches tonight, the judges will be giving us their top 2 teams, and you, the audience, will have the chance to have your say as well. We won't be opening up voting until the pitching is complete, so it's at the very end. Your votes will be collected and collated with our expert panel to determine the winner. Now, are we ready for our first startup or what? Yep. So, without further ado, let's get pitching. First up, we have Bloom Impact Investing with founders Camille Sococleur and Bertrand Caron. Camille will be pitching tonight. Camille is a ski instructor turned marketing manager turned fintech founder and now CEO. Please welcome Camille to the stage.
Imagine if you could grow your wealth while solving climate change at the same time. My name is Camille, and at Bloom Impact Investing, we found a way for you to do just that. Because sadly today, green investing is complex and not transparent, with high minimums, long lock-in periods, and a ton of greenwashing. It is time for a clean money revolution. Bloom makes climate impact investing easy and accessible. Via a simple mobile investment app, you get to invest in diversified green portfolios made of a mix of green bonds and listed companies actively solving climate change. There are no lock-in contracts. You get access to competitive returns, and you make a positive impact. You get full visibility on what the companies you invest in actually do, and you get to track your impact. And no, you don't have to sacrifice returns. Green investing has been outperforming the ASX 200 for 7 years in a row. We have the right partners and structure to overcome regulatory barriers and service retail investors. Bloom will be a corporate authorized representative of the True Oaks Investment Financial License. And Future Super, who already manages $1 billion in sustainable superannuation, will be our investment manager. Our main revenue will come from user fees and a small membership fee. So yes, there are a lot of other investment apps, but we are the first Australian fintech to focus on climate finance. Impact investing is worth $19 billion in Australia alone, and millennials globally are about to receive $30 trillion in wealth from baby boomers, and most of them want to invest ethically. We are gaining momentum. Since October 2019, our community has grown by 26% month on month. We've launched our app waitlist a month ago, and already over 200 people have signed up, pledging to collectively invest $700,000. Staying on this trajectory puts us in a place where we can get 13,000 users and 89 million under management in a year's time. We have the perfect blend of marketing, technology, and finance skills. And we have extraordinary advisors behind us, including Astrid Ritz, key legal counsel at Vanguard, and Adam Verwey, co-founder and director at Future Super. Today, we are seeking $400,000 in seed funding to support our launch in September. So come and see us after the event if you're interested. The clean energy transition is already underway, but will you be part of it? And will we go fast enough to solve climate change? If you are ready to use your money power for good, join us. We are Bloom, Australia's first climate impact investing app. Thank you.
Wow. What a strong pitch to be kicking us off tonight. We're going to throw to questions, but before we do, let's go Bertrand out on the stage to join us. So, judges, Leanne, do you have a question to kick us off?
So I have money to invest, but how do you find me as a consumer or an end user of the platform?
No, for sure. So our go-to-market strategy has 3 key pillars. The first one is our community. We already have 830 members who are impact investors and with whom we organize fortnightly events about impact investing and sustainable finance. It's the perfect launchpad for our app. The second lever is referral. So we will partner with like-minded organizations and offer $10 in our investment account for their customers. And the third one is organic marketing, which is my specialty.
All right. Tanya, how about yourself?
Thank you. That was a great pitch, really well done. So with the money that you're seeking for investment, how are you planning on spending that exactly?
Absolutely. So our key spend will be on marketing. We plan to hire one growth marketer to drive our growth and take us to break-even point. The second highest cost is legal and compliance. So this is how we will spend this $400,000.
Awesome. That is our 2 questions there. We do need to be brief. So everybody, can you please give it up for Bloom Impact Investing as they exit the stage? Thank you. Pitch number 2. I would like to introduce to the stage Nathaniel Marshall, founder of Deep Connection. Now, Nathaniel is an electrical engineer and a UQ student studying a Bachelor of Advanced Science in Physics. When he's not busy with his startup, Nathaniel can be found hiking trails and mountains. So I'd like to welcome to the stage Nathaniel. Give it up.
So I've got an activity for everyone. Could you grab your forearm just like this and start moving your fingers? What do you feel? Those are your muscles. Pretty obvious, right? Every time you move your hands, the muscles in your forearm light up with electrical signals. And we at Deep Connection collect those signals. I'm Nat Marshall, founder of Deep Connection, and we're developing armbands that truly understand how your muscles operate. Oh. So collecting, we've developed, and we're developing armbands that truly understand how your muscles operate. How does this? So imagine a day when someone who had lost a limb could wear our band and control their prosthetic as if it were a real extension of their body. Our vision recently sparked national media attention and was featured on the ABC and in the Courier Mail. Collecting large amounts of muscle data is invaluable to a range of fields, including a diagnostic in sports science, a tool for physios, a method of controlling virtual reality, and many more applications in the medical space. How are we going to build this product? It's simple. We just need to start collecting the data. How are we going to collect that data? The virtual reality market. This data is readily available to be collected, and we're going to use it to build the most detailed model of the human arm to date. You might be wondering how large the market is. The virtual reality hardware market is expected to grow to $44 billion by 2025. You might be thinking, what are our competitors offering? This is what they're offering: 16 electrodes to try and understand what your muscles are doing. This simply isn't enough. We've developed novel hardware that captures 16 times more data points than the next best device. We've developed a hardware prototype which is nearly ready for market, and using the data we're collecting, we're developing deep learning techniques to simulate hand function and to remove all hassle from the end user. The device will be sold as a standalone product, and we will constantly be collecting data from the users to improve the software's accuracy. Additionally, we'll offer a subscription-based model for users to train their own simulations. We're looking to raise a pre-seed investment of $400,000 and to bring our first product to market. If you're an electronics engineer or a software developer and you're interested in this technology, please come and talk to us. We're Deep Connection, and we're developing technology to truly understand how your muscles operate. Thank you.
All right. Amazing stuff, Nat. So we're going to throw to the judges, starting this time with yourself, James.
Thanks, Matt. Good to see you. I'm just keen to let you explore a bit further for the audience who your customers are. Who is going to actually buy this and who is going to use it?
Yeah, exactly. So our beachhead market are VR developers, and they've always had issues with the controllers they use. So it might be a hand controller or it might be a vision-based system. But what we're offering is an alternative to that removes some of the issues they have. So they don't need to have anything in their hands, and they also receive finer function from that.
Great. Leanne?
So Nathaniel, I first want to celebrate you because I know what it's like to stand on stage in front of 400 or 200 people and lose your words. So well done to you to keep going, and I think we should round of applause to Nathaniel. Good on you, mate. You nailed it. Tell me honestly, what is the biggest thing that keeps you up at night that worries you about not being able to deliver this vision to the world?
The major thing is that the solutions that are on the market at the moment are just not returning the amount of function that should be there. So I'm trying to build something that's really got value for the end customer, and they're not paying. So for instance, for someone who has lost a limb, they often pay on the order of $100,000 for a device. And they don't even return that much control. So I'm trying to develop something that's really got value for them, and they're actually making some amount of improvement in the function they receive.
What a response. All right, let's give it up for Nat and Deep Connection. Thank you very much, mate. So, pitch number 3. I would like to welcome Gloria from Acude. Acude is made up of 3 founders, Gloria Vega, Diana Jimenez, and Jenny Guevara. Gloria will be pitching tonight. She is the CEO of Acude. Gloria is a Latin dance instructor turned engineer turned corporate strategist and now founder of a social enterprise startup. In her spare time, she enjoys dancing, yoga, mentoring young professionals. So please welcome Gloria.
Go back to where you came from. Have you ever been told this? 2 years ago, a young person in Brisbane yelled this at me. It hurts. And made me question, how can we increase early intercultural understanding? Even for multicultural parents like me, it's not easy. My own child, at the age of 4, argued that she didn't need to learn Spanish because she was born in Australia. Up to 29% of global productive income is lost due to children's lack of connection and perspective taking. This is in the SDGs and the Australian curriculum. The challenge for schools and parents is how to make it fun and accessible. I bring a solution inspired by my childhood in Colombia, where I saw education in performing arts transform the lives of street children and the perspectives of their audiences. I am Gloria Vega, founder of Acude, a social enterprise that nurtures empathy in children through cultural awareness. We offer online programs that teach global citizenship using arts, dance, music. We have reached 130 children aged 4 to 12 who loved international pen paling and given school supplies to others in need. We create value at the intersection of the online education $7 billion market, the increased investment in social cohesion, and families' existing spending in cultural activities. To impact all socioeconomic backgrounds, our current revenue has both a fee paid by parents and sponsors for disadvantaged children. Initially focused in Latin cultures, we have linked children across Australia, US, and Latin America. We aim to connect 25,000 children by 2025. Our next step is a school-to-school approach to scale with subscriptions. We're seeking advisors for school partnerships and a $100,000 investment to help us launch our school program. Help us prepare young global citizens to succeed at a time where empathy and connection are more important than ever. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Gloria. Well done. Judges, I believe we are up to Tanya. Your turn.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As a mum of 4 children, I can appreciate what you're trying to do. I suppose I'd love to explore just a little bit more. You talk about the connection of empathy and cultural awareness. So what does that look like in terms of what you're delivering in this solution? Can you just take us through that a little bit more detail?
Yeah, so in practice, we have delivered in the online programs. We do a 6-week program where children get to explore dances and music from other culture. In this case, we've started with Anglo-Saxon children exploring the Latin culture. And they learned to first express, we look at empathy in understanding themselves what other culture might look like, understanding others from other cultures, because we connect groups across the different countries. And we also help them to reflect about systems. So we help them to connect and support other communities in need. So we help them to send letters and send support to communities in disadvantage.
Okay, great. James, we're going to need to throw to you next.
Yeah, thanks so much. My little girl just started school this year, so we've been thinking about reading eggs and these other ways that people are, engaging with content online. So I definitely get the emphasis. I think it's really cool. In terms of kind of the nuts and bolts of the business, you're saying you want the school engagement program. Are you intending that the school foot the bill or the parent foot the bill in terms of who you're going after as your target audience there?
Yeah, so we've been talking to schools and educators, and we are about to launch a pilot hopefully in a local school, and we are going to test both. So as an extension of an existing program that parents pay for, but also perhaps a component that the school pays the bill. So we get to explore what will take, more ground. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Let's give it up for Gloria and Acude. Great job. Okay. Next up on the bill, pitch number 4 of 12, we have Envirometrics.io. Roger Tang and Imam Pawadi are the founders of Envirometrics.io. Both Roger and Imam are PhD candidates at UQ's Sustainable Minerals Institute. Roger will be pitching this evening. Roger Tang, in his previous life, was a zookeeper at a hedgehog hospital in the UK. I think my wife just melted at home when she heard that, before becoming a PhD candidate and now a startup founder. Let's welcome Roger to the stage.
Did you know that an area the size of England has been impacted by mining here in Australia? Fortunately, all mining companies have to rehabilitate their land. And the global trend is moving towards progressive rehabilitation, where mining companies have to report on their progress every single year. So essentially, the trend for rehabilitation is actually on the rise. But environmental reporting is a long process. It took my team a year to get a report out, and I'm sure you can imagine how much can change on a mine site by the time a report gets out. And that's me, by the way. So our solution is Minar, a dashboard that uses satellite imagery similar to this one to make environmental reporting easier, faster, and safer. We simplify environmental analytics so that what initially took many months to get a report out can be done in a few simple clicks. Our web-based software will be offered on an annual subscription basis per mine site, and imagery and features beyond the basic modules will be offered as add-ons. Our target market here in Queensland is going to be spending $20 billion on rehabilitation alone. That figure increases to $60 billion for all of Australia and is significantly greater in North America, in part due for the cost of rehabilitation being 3 times greater. Our first module for vegetation will be completed in January 22, which will include commonly used parameters for environmental reporting. And by using satellite imagery and focusing on rapid reporting, we are positioning ourselves to be an easier and faster alternative than our competitors. Since we launched 3 months ago, we've held 32 client interviews. We are partnering with 2 mining companies to validate our product, and we are near completion of our beta. We've also been featured in numerous publications. My name is Roger, and I'm doing my PhD in mining rehabilitation, and my co-founder, Imam, is doing his PhD in remote sensing and spectral analysis. Together, we have nearly 20 years of research experience and a passion for mining and rehabilitation. We're looking for introductions to mining companies that would be interested in trialing our product. So if you would like to have a chat with me later on this evening, I look forward to it. Thank you very much.
All right, great work, Roger. So for the judges, straight up, we have Leanne.
Look, you framed the problem incredibly well, and I know this space intimately well, particularly in the diamond industry and coloured gemstone. But where's the secret sauce in what you're actually building? Because there are many companies that can take satellite imagery, spectral analysis. Yep. What makes you unique and special, and why do I care about partnering with a startup?
Yeah, so essentially what a lot of our competitors actually do, they can tell you what's happened in the past or what is happening right now. People are moving more and more towards real time. But what we're actually going to be doing in the next few years is also how to actually model rehabilitation. So one of the biggest costs is actually that rehabilitation usually fails. So by helping with that, that's what our secret sauce is essentially.
Awesome. Now moving on to Tanya.
Just in terms of your pricing model and what you're looking at there, how long do you anticipate it's going to be until you start generating income from the business?
Yeah, so by launching next year, we've calculated it so that we only need to partner with 2 sites that will be paying. And then by increasing it to 4, 8, and so on, we should be profitable quite early on because our costs are generally quite low. So all the additional imagery, etc., will be offered as an additional cost beyond the basic software.
All right, let's give it up for Roger, Envirometrics.io. Thank you very much, mate. Pitch number 5 tonight's a little bit different. Our next team is BigBlueMarble. Rahul Patel and Ashutosh Kote are the founders of BigBlueMarble. They are based in India, so we'll actually be watching a pre-recorded video of Rahul pitching. Now, Rahul is a UQ Master of Business graduate and formerly a professional football player in India. BigBlueMarble is Rahul's third business, and having started his first business when he was just a teenager. Let's hear it for Rahul as this video works first time.
Hello, my name is Rahul Patel and I am the co-founder of BigBlueMarble. At BigBlueMarble, we design and manufacture eco-friendly, sustainable and zero-waste products at an affordable price. Since the start of our journey, which is 15 months ago, we have sold more than 25,000 products to 3,000 customers. Our community of environmentally conscious customers is growing at a rate of 5% quarter on quarter. And our products can be found in 15 stores across India. As the world's population continues to grow, so does the amount of plastic that people produce. Plastic is cheap, durable and versatile, but it's terrible for our environment. BigBlueMarble India taps into the growing demand of India's middle class for zero waste products. We have started our journey by creating and designing a biodegradable, aesthetically visual and affordable bamboo toothbrush, and also intend to extend our product line by launching more personal care and hygiene products. Based on our consumer demand, we recently launched a subscription plan for our oral hygiene kit. In this subscription plan, you get a new product delivered to your address every 3 months for no added cost. This plan increases the lifetime value of our customer on our platform tremendously. We also intend to launch more such subscription boxes that cater towards women hygiene and kitchen cleaning items. Eco-friendly and sustainable market in India is valued at $35 billion, which is growing at a massive rate of 13% year on year, giving us a huge market opportunity. Our targeted demographic is the socially conscious homemakers between the age of 25 and 45 years old. We are hustlers. Despite BigBlueMarble India launched in the midst of a global pandemic, we have demonstrated that we have what it takes to launch, scale, and build a consumer brand. What sets us apart from our competition is our focus on building a strong community of environmentally conscious consumers and our ability to offer them affordable subscription plans. If you're interested to know more about our journey, please do reach us out via LinkedIn. We are BigBlueMarble and we are saving the planet one brush at a time. Thank you.
All right. A big thanks to Rahul and the team for arranging that video. I know you guys are watching on the live stream wherever you are in the world, so thank you very much there. And great job, UQ, including teams all around the world in this program. Straight on to our next pitch, though. It is my pleasure to introduce Yash Dutt, the founder and CEO of Yuva AI. Yash is a second-year UQ Bachelor of Computer Science student. Yash has always wanted to travel to space and has already started saving up for his trip. Please, let's welcome Yash.
Artificial intelligence. ARTEH also counts on fantastic collaborators and industry advisors that work with us on the business strategy, network in industry and operations. We are seeking
source thousands of images from a hospital, which was almost impossible because of privacy laws. Then I had to round up a team of 200 people to go through and manually label the cancers in every image like you see on screen. But even after earning $100,000 in revenue from this service I created last year, it took us half a year to complete this project and others like it. Can you believe that this is the way that cutting-edge AI is being built across the globe? I know, right? Well, companies across the globe are spending $6 billion a year on this process alone, and it's growing at 7.7% year on year. Hi, I'm Yash, and I'm the founder and CEO of Yuva AI. And at Yuva AI, we create synthetic images and videos that companies can use to build AI significantly faster. So instead of having to use real images and videos, we can generate synthetic versions of them that have the labels and that can teach the AI what everything is. We could produce a diverse range of people, like you see up here, for a facial recognition AI, or a supermarket with people moving inside of it to help build AI for retail. And we can produce data for virtually any other industry that's building AI. Our data has numerous benefits. No human needs to go through and manually label those points on those faces that I was showing earlier. It's done automatically. Our data has no privacy issues either because it's synthetic. And for our customers, they're able to bring their AI to market faster, taking what once took months or years down to weeks. Our direct customers are companies that are building AI for large blue-chip organizations. We charge them a per-image fee in the build phase and then have an ongoing subscription for continual testing and maintenance of their AI model. We've successfully completed a proof of concept with ARTEH and an Australian Defence Force client and are exploring an option for an annual subscription. A company building AI for retail has also requested 10,000 images from us for a paid pilot. Ever since the age of 14, I've been an entrepreneur, having built Australia's largest tech blog for Gen Z with 10,000 views, 10,000 users, 4 million views, and these partnerships. Now my focus is on building our synthetic data tools for these industries. So if you are building AI or have connections that are building AI within them, I'd love to chat. We're Yuva AI, and we create synthetic data for computer vision AI. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Yash. Good job on the technical failure there, mate. You kept going. Also, I've been a subscriber of your blog now for a while, so thank you very much. James, you're the first on the questions tonight.
Yeah, really well done. Having sort of nerves of steel to keep plugging away, man. That was really good. So my question comes to, if you're making synthetic imagery for companies that already do AI, what is it about your secret sauce that means they just don't make their own fake images? Why are your fake images valuable enough that they will pay you for them rather than just making them themselves?
Yeah, definitely. It's a great question, James. And so really it comes down to the know-how that we've been able to build over time, because anybody can produce images, right? You could go to a graphic designer and they could produce some images for you. But that's not enough. There has to be also the machine learning component and understanding techniques that have just recently been established in machine learning, like domain randomization. You don't need to know, I guess, what that means. But, right, it's those specific techniques that you need to use in order to actually, when you give the AI that data, it can actually improve, right? Because you could give it data and it doesn't go anywhere, right? And so that's that special sauce that we have, and that's what we've been curating over this time, right, while we've been in the AI space. So it really comes down to that, and I think that's our moat as well as a company.
Nice job. Leanne, you are next.
Can you talk about the economics of your growth? At what point in time, I think per image instantiation or minting is never going to be enough to take you to a $100 million company. So where does this, how do the economics of this idea really hockey stick out?
Yeah, so I think that really comes from the subscription model with the company. And so there's always going to be a need for continual testing and maintenance of an AI model to deal with, changes in time. And, if you want to expand an AI model to work in a different context, right? You might have something that works in Australia, but how do you make it work for different countries, right? And I think the best example of this is self-driving cars, right? And so there's been unicorns that have actually been built in the self-driving car space by solving this exact problem, the data problem for self-driving cars. And so now we're seeing a big uptake in this sort of technology for other industries, and the way that that company did it was through subscription and by being able to continually help these companies expand to these different markets, because there's an insatiable need for data. I mean, you can be, you know, some applications require hundreds of millions, is what I've heard for some applications, and so the scale of the data is there, and I think by making it a subscription model, it really will allow us to become that $100 million unicorn kind of company.
Awesome, Yash. Thank you very much. Thank you to the panel. Cheers, mate. So before we're now halfway through the night. We're about to go on to number 7. Before we do that, let's not forget there is a hashtag you should be using. Has anybody used the hashtag just yet? Yep, we're seeing some hands. We want that to be double by the end of this, all right? And Nimrod will be checking phones on the way out. So please do that. Now, our 7th pitch for tonight, I would like to introduce ARTEH. ARTEH is made of 3 founders, Dr. Natalie Hurtado, Dr. Sophia Recker, and Ugo Metzinge. Natalie and the CEO of ARTEH will be pitching tonight. Natalie was a competitive swimmer and belly dance instructor in Rio de Janeiro. Natalie has a bachelor's degree in actual science, a master's degree in insurance, PhD in business administration, and from UQ, a master of entrepreneurship and innovation. Holy hell. In her spare time, she enjoys reading, cooking, and swimming somehow. Please join me in welcoming Natalie to the stage.
To ensure life on Earth as we know it, we must halve carbon emissions by 2030 and reach net zero by mid-century. Corporations are being pressured to disclose their climate-related financial risks and opportunities by investors and financial regulators. The problem is that only a few top performers across all sectors are being able to disclose this data. Introducing ARTEH and its 4-part value proposition. Our service facilitates data collection, calculates greenhouse gas emissions, sets up companies' science-based targets, and provides automated reports that enable companies to get global recognition. Over the past 3 months, we've signed agreements to partner with the University of Queensland and Acude Resources to develop our minimum viable product. Now, we are partnering with the Association of Mining and Exploration Companies and with the consulting firm Grant Thornton Australia to expand our network in the mining sector and to engage other mining companies on board for the pilot program, which we will launch in June. Our beachhead market is the Australian-listed small and medium-sized mining and resource companies. Later, we plan to go to other economic sectors and regions. We offer 2 key points of differentiation. Our solution is automated, making it time and cost effective. Our science-based target modeling and automated reports are designed with investors and financial regulators in mind to increase share value and reduce the cost of capital. I am Natalie, and I have over 10 years of experience in the financial regulatory sector. My co-founders are Safira, a UK researcher on sustainable finance and a member of the Science-Based Target Initiative Oil and Gas Committee, and Ugo, our data scientist, expert on big data and artificial intelligence. ARTEH also counts on fantastic collaborators and industry advisors that work with us on the business strategy, networking in the industry, and operations. We are seeking a $200,000 investment to accelerate the development of our platform and to hire other top experts. And we would love to connect to any of you who might be interested in knowing more about us and ARTEH. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Natalie. Now let's get your co-founder, Sophia, onto the stage as well. Ugo, your 3rd co-founder, is based in Portugal, so he isn't with us tonight, but I know he's watching on the live stream. On the panel, Tanya, any questions for the team?
Thank you very much for your presentation. With regards to the investment that you're seeking and the length of time in getting to a minimum viable product, you've certainly got a great team around you with lots of great people there. So what is the time frame that you're looking at? When do you expect to get to a minimum viable product?
Yes.
And can I add one more question just in that stack? And how are you utilising those funds?
Sure, thank you for the question. So we are finalizing our minimum viable product in May. We are working with these two companies, UQ and EQ Resources. In June, we will be starting our pilot. We have already acquired one customer for the pilot. We have just signed it yesterday, agreed with them yesterday. It's Multicom. And during the pilot, we will be expanding our platform because in the first stage for the MVP, we are assessing Scope 1 and Scope 2. But during the pilot, we are also adding on to the platform Scope 3 assessment. And we are working with the pilot companies that we are targeting to be 20 until October to commercialize in November. So we are using the $200,000 that we are seeking as a pre-seed investment to be faster in developing our platform. So we'll be using for hiring software developers, also to hire more 2 professionals, another IT person, and a marketing professional too. And we are using this investment to also be a matching contribution because we are going to apply for the Female Boost Queensland State Government grant.
Awesome. James?
I've got a 2-prong. Firstly, I'd like to hear from Sophia anything you'd like to tell us because you've come all the way up here, so you may as well get to use your microphone. And then the second part is there anything technical or legal or important that would differentiate you in having a big ASX-listed company utilise your report to declare their impact to the world? Do you need to tick any regulatory boxes to make that a reality?
Yeah, so there is increasing pressure from investors and regulators to actually set science-based targets that you understand how you're going to meet them. And it doesn't seem to have been picked up by competitors to really offer the science-based target setting and also understand how they could be met. So our interactive platform is really there for the customer to understand where their emissions come from and how they can be reduced. I was talking to someone at Norges Bank last week, and they said the companies just, they do their reporting, but they don't understand really where their emissions come from. And that's going to be increasing pressure to have these targets and to know how they're going to be set. Because now often companies are setting these targets having no clue how they're actually going to meet them. So I think we have a great advantage of having this platform demonstrating what targets are legitimately science-based and how they will meet those.
Awesome. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Natalie. Give it up. Thanks, guys. Judges getting a little bit cheeky on the extra questions there. So next up, at pitch number 8, we have the Wine Valet. Sarah Sweeney and Elaine Gillimain are founders of Wine Valet. Sarah will be pitching tonight. She moonlights as an optometrist and has switched selling wonderful glasses for ensuring your wine glasses are full of wonder. So let's welcome Sarah to the stage.
So, we all know what it feels like to be disappointed. In this day and age of big data, there's no need to be disappointed when it comes to wine. And yet, many wine services send you random bottles of wine only to have you not enjoy them month after month. This is the problem we are solving. My name is Sarah Sweeney. I am co-founder and director of Wine Valet. So, you'd agree some wines are genuinely bad, but often it's that wine and people don't match. We have some customers tell us they love a wine and others tell us they don't. It's the exact same wine. It just comes down to taste preferences. Just like matchmaking is very personal, our mission at Wine Valet is to help our customers find their perfect wine match. How do we do it? A customer receives wine, they drink it, and they tell us whether they like it or not via a few simple taps on their app on their phone. That's it. In the background, certified tasters taste these wines and categorise them across a range of characteristics that we map to the customer, From this, we build something so personal and delicate, we call it the customer's wine DNA. The more the customer drinks, the more accurate the map and the more accurate our recommendations become. So this is what gives Wine Valet its competitive edge. Selling wine is just one facet of our business model. Opportunities are ripe for selling subscriptions and experiences and data back to wineries and other companies. Selling subscriptions is the backbone of secure cash flow. As a one-off, we are offering complimentary wine, exclusive experiences and other perks for life, but only for our first 100 members. Might want to get on that. The market for wine in Australia is worth $3.1 billion. In the US, it's $60 billion. We drink a lot of wine. We have been forward-thinking and we have registered Wine Valet as a trademark in Australia, in the US, in the EU and the UK. 86 investors caught this vision. Last year, they invested $101,000 to fund version 1 of our technology. The customer-facing app was delivered to the App Store today. How good is that timing, hey judges? We are ready to go. To substantiate our $3.2 million valuation, we are chasing 4,000 subscribers in Australia by the end of the year. Next week, we open our second capital raise to commit $200,000 to a marketing campaign to transform Wine Valet into a nationwide brand. We've budgeted cost of customer acquisition at just $50 per subscription to be recovered within just 3 months. Our team is committed and experienced. My co-founder, Elaine Gilmain, has 15 years' experience as a business analyst. I have 8 years' experience as a business owner. On our advisory team, we have people in wine, people in equities, people in marketing, people in publicity, sustainability, and we contract teams of developers and marketing professionals. So please come and speak with us or register online to become part of the Wine Valet story. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Well done. Judges, Leanne, you're up first.
I love wine. There's no secrets about that. It's my business to make sure it's really good wine.
Excellent.
My question is the economics at play around a concierge service or a marketplace for wine lovers that love to drink versus the economic power of a data play. Are you masquerading as a consumer offering, but ultimately you've got a whole bunch of smarts in the back end that can link up my Louis Vuitton, my Gucci handbag, my MCQ jacket? Is that, or is it wine and wine alone? Where does it go?
May I take this one?
I think she's onto us.
I am a lot brighter.
Thank you, Leanne. You've given away our strategy. But
by the way, everybody. Sorry.
Oh yes, I'm Elaine. Thanks. Yes, so in short, it's a much bigger play than just wine. But Wine Valet is specifically focused on wine. And it's a great place to start with matching very specific characteristics that the consumer themselves find difficult to identify, let alone articulate. And that's where the technology in the back end is doing that matching. But as you've picked up, it can be applied to gin, or it can be applied to handbags or tomatoes, or whatever it is. And so as that data comes through and as the technology is developed, we certainly are looking at opportunities further afield.
So the chief entrepreneur's gig's ended. Have you got a chief taster gig that's ready for me to take up the reins?
We do have some chief tasters.
Yeah, I am certified, but just different.
All right, Tanya, you're up next.
Great presentation. That was a really, really entertaining and great presentation that you did. And I'm also a wine lover and really interested in the concept. I would just like a little bit more information around your economic model, like the subscription model that you're talking about, and also then what does that look like in terms of me as a consumer and my wine selections? How are you sourcing those wines? How does that all come together from a logistics point of view?
Yeah, thanks for your question, Tanya. It's actually really quite intricate, and that's, I guess, what creates the moat around our business. So first thing to consider is around, gross profit. Like, how much margin is there actually on these wines? And thankfully, Australia has a lot of wonderful wineries, and I'd say that 90% of them are boutique. So what that does is it puts us in a position where we can source wines directly from wineries and make those available to the consumer at a reasonable markup. So somewhere between 50 and 65%. So what that does economically, which is the thrust of your question, is it allows us to, carefully work with logistics, but more specifically that specific matching between customer and wine, which, there are costs associated in that. Of course, the tasting, the algorithms, but more so the picking fee. So like every time someone has to remove a bottle off a shelf and put it in a unique combination for a customer, that has a higher cost than, let's say, logistically just shipping out a box of wine. So thankfully, there's enough margin to enable us to do the unique wine matching that we seek to do.
Very exciting stuff. Thank you very much, Sarah and Elaine. Thank you, Leanne and Tanya, for your questions. Cheers, guys. We're coming up to pitch number 9, and following on from Wine Valet, we have Tinn-E, which is interesting. Patrick Haswell and Matthew Thomas are the founders of Tinn-E. Patrick and Matthew are both currently studying Masters of Sustainable Energy at UQ. Patrick will be pitching tonight. Patrick runs a YouTube channel on boating and fishing in the Northern Territory with multi-million views. Let's hear it up for Patrick.
Hi, I'm Patrick. I'm originally from the Northern Territory, a place which famously has more crocodiles than people. And I produce, as our presenter explained, I produce a documentary series. It's about exploring this incredible part of the world in the humble Aussie Tinn-E, a small aluminium boat. And as I like messing around in boats, about a year ago, I was with some friends in Perth, and their son took me out on a small inflatable boat which had a tiny electric motor run by a car battery. And the experience was extraordinary. There was no noise, there were no fumes, there were no vibrations, just the lapping of water against the boat, the sound of the birds, and the magnificent sunset. And from that moment, I was convinced that clean technology can redesign, not just repower boats, but the whole experience of boating. Because much as I love boats, boats are terrible. They really are. They're expensive to fuel and maintain, they're smelly, they're noisy, and importantly, they're really polluting. They're actually around 30 times the emissions of some cars is the equivalent boat motor. I'm a climate and energy professional, and as part of my master's studies at UQ, I met my co-founder Matt Thomas, and we set about to use clean energy to redefine the boating experience. And so was born the Tinn-E. The Tinn-E is a clean, quiet, rugged, 4-person, fully electric boat with a top speed of about 20 knots and about a 45 kilometre range. It's almost maintenance-free and is fueled by a specially designed boat cover which actually has solar panels on it while you're on the water or while you're at home. It's designed with a combination of new technology and old-fashioned, clever design to be completely focused on accessibility, to be as easy to tow as possible, as easy to launch, and as easy to operate in any stretch of water you want, a holiday in your driveway. And it's not just a boat. The Tinn-E is the first water vessel with vehicle-to-grid technology. So while it's at home, it acts like a giant battery in your driveway, soaking up from your rooftop solar, the cheap solar electricity, and allowing you to discharge at night and save you money. There are a lot of opportunities in this space. As a boat, 80% of our customers, our customer validation interviews who want to buy Tinn-Es want to go electric, and they're prepared to pay a premium. And that premium actually comes back over time with reduced running and maintenance costs. For fleet owners, it can actually start saving them money straight away. The markets we're targeting are the Tinn-E market, which is $200 million a year, the home battery market, which is $560 million a year and growing 20%, and the potential market of all the rooftop solar homes in Australia who don't have batteries, which is $35 billion and growing 33% per annum. As a boat, we hope to be the first fully integrated electric boat to market. As a battery, we're confident we're the first one you can take the family fishing on. The Tinn-E is freedom. It's freedom from fuel, from noise, from pollution, and from energy costs. It's the first boat that's a good investment for you and the planet. The Tinn-E. Now you're free.
Great job, Patrick. Sign me up. Tanya, you are first on the questions.
Thanks. Thank you very much. I'm a little bit familiar with solar technology. I've just spent the last few weeks up on our farm, which is off-grid and completely solar-powered, which was a real problem over Easter because we didn't have much sun.
Yep.
And so my question for you is, what happens if we're out on the water and it is overcast and the batteries run out? What's our backup plan?
So it's designed with an equivalent range to a Tinn-E, so 45 kilometres with no solar input. Solar charges it about 3% an hour. So it's really just a top-up that improves the range of the boat depending on conditions. So the software involved has range management and GPS, because that is obviously range anxiety is the first thing on all EV owners' minds. And we're only now at an inflection point where even in the car community, I think people now trust the range of cars. But it's an excellent question. But it can be plugged in and charged wherever, and the solar on the water is just a top-up to extend range. Yeah.
Awesome. James, you're up next.
Really well done, mate. Really classy and well put together pitch. I think the boat is cool. The boat that charges your house is super cool. As I drive around, there's lots of boats just sitting there, and I wonder if anyone ever actually takes them on the water, or whether they're just a status symbol like a Range Rover sitting out in their driveway. But as I look at it, I don't have a boat. I got no interest in boats. But that age-old saying, I wish I had a mate that had a boat. Like, how would you sell it to me? I've got no boat. I'm not going to be going down to a boat ramp. I don't have a truck. Do you have any interest in me as a customer, or are you going after people that already own boats and you want them to switch to electric?
Yeah, good question. So the beachhead market is enthusiasts who are already boating and who want to switch to electric. But the longer-term strategy is non-boat owners or families who would consider getting a boat. Exactly. I think the level of trust required, and certainly the interviews we're doing and through the channel and other avenues, are around enthusiasts and people that already want to go boating. But there is a lot of widespread interest in it generally, and the functionality as a battery. I mean, you're essentially just getting a power wall that you can take fishing.
All right. Great job, Patrick. Thank you, James. Thank you, Tanya. Good job, mate. We are on to pitch number 10, almost there, bringing it home. We have SparkTank. So behind SparkTank, we have Dr. Joanne Langham, the founder and CEO. Joanne has a Master's of Philosophy, Economic Psychology, and a PhD in Experience Innovation and Design from UQ. In a previous life, Joanne was a late-night sports radio journalist. So let's hear it for Joanne.
Tonight, we're going to do brainstorming. Is that a groan I hear from the room? Well, we've designed a tool that is going to change the way that you think about brainstorming, and we're going to make it fun. For most people, brainstorming is a painful process, fraught with all kinds of thinking bias. It's also a hidden cost to organisations, with the average half-day workshop costing around $30,000 in salaries alone. Results are not guaranteed, they're often stereotyped, and they usually go nowhere. I'm Joanne Langham, CEO and founder of SparkTank. I have a PhD in design and evaluation, and I have been running these kinds of workshops for more than 20 years. Most brainstorming sessions don't have a trained facilitator who can bring out the best in its people. Our mission is to enable all people to come up with great ideas. A good brainstorming session can be measured by the number of high-quality, novel ideas generated. But most people think that moment of creative genius is spontaneous and can't be planned. Well, they'd be wrong. And we've engineered it into our process, and we've tested it with several experiments. And results show that our process is 10 times more effective in generating novel ideas than traditional brainstorming. SparkTank is a tool that uses our patented process to facilitate brainstorming in as little as 30 minutes. It uses improvisation techniques that prompt idea generation through a sophisticated workflow process. Our tool also automates the selection of the best ideas using our scoring and evaluation process, which outputs all results prioritised. This saves days of manual analysis work done at the end of a workshop. There are a number of competitors in this market, but we are addressing a missing component, which is to improve the quality of ideas and automate the synthesis of results. This is a huge opportunity. In the US alone, the group collaborative software market was worth $10.5 billion in 2019 and is predicted to grow to $24.2 billion by 2027. We are already trialling our tool with a number of organisations, including the Australian Government, Transport Canada, and several design consultancies. In just 6 months, we've developed a fully functioning tool and we have more than 1,200 users. We are SparkTank and we're disrupting brainstorming. If you want to run brainstorming sessions that don't suck, come and see me. Thank you.
Well done, Joanne. James, you were first up on the questions.
I do love a good brainstorming session, actually. So if I'm your customer, I run an organisation, I've got a team, I'm developing products. Am I paying a consultant that uses your product, or am I coming to you and paying you so that you don't visit my organisation? Who pays you money? Where does the revenue come from?
Well, it can come from both sources, actually. We do have facilitators who would like to be more effective with their sessions and actually focus on more complex parts of the problem. But as an organisation, you can also do this as well. There's lots of management meetings out there where they just want to brainstorm for, around a problem and solve it really quickly. So that would also be a way of doing it. So you could also have lots of challenges being run to harness the ideas and the solutions to problems in your organisation. So there's a couple of different ways.
Awesome. Leanne, you're up next.
So I'm an ideas woman, a bit like the Castle the movie. They all end up in a pool room because the tech level readiness isn't baked into brainstorming, and neither is the economic modelling. And so you spend a lot of time. Where does this start and end in terms of that tooling, particularly for scale-up companies that are in the technology space?
If I can understand your question properly, there is an essence in our tool where we use things to actually help us prompt idea generation. So this is actually brainwriting, where we get people to pass on their ideas to other people and they do the work. So it's actually about improving the way people think and they create ideas. It's not just a tool where people are dumping their ideas into it. They're actually working on it and improving them. So the work is actually done in the tool. And how do you scale it up? Well, we can actually run any size. By the way that we've set this up, the way that the algorithm works in the background, you can pass the ideas around and have them all scored and rated, thousands of them, in a session.
So I'll just do one quick one, because I want to take off where the last question ended up, and that was, are you a consulting business that has a software tool, or are you ultimately a technology company that happens to employ a bunch of bright people that can talk and walk the action? Is the economic model about particular experts pimping out their knowledge, or is it leverage of the platform itself?
No, it's not about experts. That's the other thing, is that great ideas don't just come from experts. They come from everyday people and people who need to solve problems. So this is actually about enabling anyone to contribute to the idea generation process. So no, it's not, and it's not a consulting model. It's actually a software platform. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Leanne and James. Pitch number 11, Endla. Okay, so we have Riley O'Donnell is the founder of Endla. He is a UQ Bachelor of Engineering and Commerce graduate. If Riley's not busy building his startup, you can find him cycling, at the gym, and if you can tell by his hair, surfing. Welcome Riley to the stage.
Hi, I'm Riley, founder of Endla. As a process engineer working in industry, I tackled many challenging problems for which too often there just wasn't the right tool for the job. This meant we had to settle for a good enough approach, and that left a lot of value on the table. So I founded Endla to build fit-for-purpose tools for engineers that unlock this value in industry. We started this mission in one of Queensland's largest industries, coal seam gas. Coal seam gas is a well-like operation where the major companies drill hundreds of wells each year. So imagine what we have here is a multi-million-dollar drilling rig and its operating crew. They've just set up to drill a new well. They drill the well, then they have to log the well to see where the coals are. Using that information, they group those into production zones and isolation zones. With that information and the available inventory on the rig, they can then produce what's called a casing tally, or the order of parts that we run into the well. With that information, the drilling crew then runs those parts into the ground, the well's then completed, and they can move on to the next one. That process of creating the casing tally and the isolation zones is kind of like a game of Tetris, and our first product, Alpha Tally, does that job better than anything else in the industry right now. And our customers know it. Already, Cenex and Origin use Alpha Tally to produce all their casing tally designs. Together, that's about 20% of the wells drilled each year here in Queensland. But Alpha Tally could save industry as a whole in Queensland $30 million annually. And that's just the starting point for us. From here, we're building out a suite of integrated asset optimization tools in a platform that will deliver $1 billion annually in extra value for the coal seam gas industry. When we roll that out globally to a market 30 times the size of this in Australia, that's $30 billion annually saved. But building fit-for-purpose tools isn't easy. It requires a really deep understanding of the problem, then figuring out how that problem can actually be solved better, before finally putting together a tool that an engineer will actually use. At Endla, we've got the right skill set to tackle this. Personally, I've built tools like this before for major companies like Santos and ExxonMobil. Luke and Michael have also recently joined the team. Michael's a software engineer with a strong cloud infrastructure knowledge and a strong maths background, while Luke's a petroleum engineer who really understands our customers. Together, we're Endla, and we build fit-for-purpose tools for engineers. If you're passionate like us about fit-for-purpose tools or have connections into the unconventional gas sector, then please come and have a chat with us. Thank you, and I'd welcome some questions.
All right. Thank you, Riley. Questions are my job, mate. It's all right. No. Tanya, you're up first.
Thank you. Thanks for the presentation. So many questions, but I would just be keen to understand a little bit around, again, I'm going to go to the actual economics of it all. So is this a platform, a subscription piece that you're selling with a number of tools that you're going to develop over time, or is it a pay per tool? What does it look like from a financial perspective?
Yeah, so our first tool is Alpha Tally, which is a product which is paid for per tally design it generates. So we produce a design, and the companies using our tool pay every time they do that. From the next steps, it works more into the platform base, which spans a wider array of tasks than just this super niche starting point. And by continually delivering value, they continue to come back and pay to continue using the tool to get more value.
Awesome. James, throwing over to you.
First, tip of the cap for choosing a super niche, knowing where you play, knowing where you win, and mapping it out. I think that's really valuable, and I think being able to explain it the way you did is really awesome. My question around sort of my non-technical understanding here is when you're building those things, have you given them a piece of software that their engineers are going to punch a bunch of numbers to, or are you out there with them just doing it better than they do? Where's the value? Is it you, or is it a piece of software they do themselves?
Yeah, so it's just a piece of software that's super easy for them to use. So previous approaches or the stuff they have at the moment, it might take them 2 hours to generate this tally. They log on to our site and do it and I mean, one was done yesterday in a minute. So just in that itself, there's a huge saving for the companies. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, James. Thank you, Riley.
Thanks.
Cheers, mate. All right, we've done it. Pitch number 12. Lucky last, we have Ashley Hanger, founder of Stripped Supply. Ashley is a UQ Bachelor of Journalism and Communications graduate. She was formerly the editor of 5 magazines, and ironically, given her pitch, has a phobia of needles. Please join me in welcoming Ashley to the stage.
$1.7 million Australians are living with a condition that requires multiple daily injections just to stay alive. They're diabetic, which means that every day they have to manually simulate one of our vital organs, and if they don't get it perfect, their body will shut down. So to keep themselves alive, a diabetic will visit a chemist every 2 to 4 weeks, racking up a lifetime bill of over $300,000 on medication and supplies. And it's not an easy trip to the chemist either. You see, some diabetes supplies are not readily available and they have to be ordered in, which begs the question, what happens if you forget to order your supplies? Well, you run out. This is a problem that I know well. You see, I live with a diabetic. My partner has been living with diabetes for over 28 years, and he still forgets to order his medication almost every time. You'd think by now we'd have a solution to this problem, right? I mean, if I can get same-day shipping on my toilet paper, why is the medical supply chain still stuck in the past? I'm Ash, and I've got a solution to this problem. Strip Supply is a subscription service for diabetics, automating the delivery of insulin and other supplies so you will never run out again. The market today sits at 1.7 million diabetics. That's a $1 billion market. And if we add in the US market, that's 34 million diabetics and a $34 billion opportunity. We've started by growing a community, Australia's largest community of Gen Z diabetics, in fact, hosting important conversations around taboo topics, things like romantic relationships, mental health, body positivity, conversations that no one else is having. And it's been working. We've been seeing 20% month-on-month growth and 400% month-on-month reach since the beginning of this year. And this is where we're at now. 3 weeks ago, I opened our wait list, and already we have over 300 diabetics who can't wait to be a part of Strip Supply. Plus, we had pharmacies from all across Australia reach out who also want to be in on this opportunity. So right now, we're formalising partnerships with Australian pharmacies in Queensland and in Victoria so we can piggyback on their already existing infrastructure to send out our first boxes later this year. And here's what a box looks like. We'll be generating our revenue from membership fees from our customers and from our pharmacies, and also from multiple streams of advertising revenue. So if you're a pharmacy or a like-minded business owner, come chat to me about partnership opportunities. I'm Ash from Strip Supply, and we're bringing diabetes management into the 21st century. Thanks.
Great job, Ash. So let's head over to the panel. Leanne, you have first question.
Yes, yes, yes. We have great entrepreneurs in Queensland that do this well, whether it's endometriosis, whether it's microbia with gut biome, and now we've got this with diabetes. You're in the right state. Definitely connect with Craig O'Kane, who was the director in the Chief Entrepreneur's Office before I left the role, and make sure we connect you with the right people in this space with Life Sciences Queensland.
I'll take you up on that offer.
Yeah, most definitely. You've got a lot of support here, and also really good founders that can help you on this journey to know how to nail it. My question is, talk to me about the risk. If you don't get it right, of course, a life is at stake. And if you are now anticipating the needs of a patient and a complex supply chain to be available at the right time. Where does regulation sit in that environment if the algorithm gets it wrong and the stock doesn't arrive? Where do you sit in terms of liability, and are you exposed?
Yeah. So obviously sending medical supplies, it's incredibly complex and really complicated. So I'll just give a really general answer right now. Because we are piggybacking on the already existing infrastructure on pharmacies, we're utilising the pharmacies' regulations that they have in place in their licences and their insurances. So we will not need to get those regulations and licences ourselves.
Tanya?
So my question is just around what is preventing the pharmacies going and doing this themselves anyway?
It's a question I asked myself 2 years ago when I thought of it. Basically, a pharmacy has so many different customers that come into their store. And for a pharmacy, the way that they make money is the foot traffic, people coming into their store. So something like this for them to create by themselves is not very attractive to them. There's also a small profit margin on diabetes supplies themselves because they are heavily subsidised. So for us, we're generating our revenue from the community that we're building, not from the actual medication. So that's why they haven't done it before.
All right, thank you, Ash, and thank you to the panel for your questions. We've done it. It brings us to the end of all the pitching for the night. Thank you to all the amazing founders for their fantastic pitches, and thank you to our panel of expert judges for your amazing questions. Let's give it up for everybody. So, voting is now open. Please refer to your program for our friends, the QR codes. With those, you scan them, and there'll be one up on the screen now I think you can scan. While we are doing that, you have a couple of minutes for that. While we are doing that, it's my pleasure to welcome my friend, Mr. Nimrod Clayman, head of UQ Ventures, to the stage for some words.
Excellent. Thanks, Ben. It's a dream come true to be on the stage with you. So thank you so much, Ben. The 2021 program is without a doubt one of the largest, most diverse, and most geographically connected cohort. I think I heard accent from Colombia, a bit of Portuguese. We have a team in India and a couple of other accents there. We have since 12 teams working exceptionally hard during the 3 months program to interview customers, validate their idea, and refine their pitches over and over. The original plan was to have 10 teams. We decided to have an extra 2 because we always know that we are going to lose a couple on the way. And the surprise here that we had the whole team, the 12 teams, lasting all the way until the end. That's a great outcome. That's 100% retention. And the teams, I'm sure they hit rock bottom during the program. I'm sure they had really hard times there, but they all insisted, persisted, and finished the program. And for that, I think they're all winners. So let's give them another round of applause because that's an excellent outcome. On behalf of UQ, we would like to express our sincere thanks to our many mentors who have rolled up their sleeves and our network of professionals who put out their hands and contributed to the development and delivery of the 2021 Ventures ilab Accelerator program. And if you know accelerators, the strength of an accelerator, it's measured by the network, and I think, and very proud of that, I think we have one of the best network in Australia. Yeah. So now it's over to the judges to answer the most burning question we all want to know. If you had an hypothetical 50K, 50,000, and if it's hypothetical, let's make it 100,000. So to invest tonight, tell us who from the teams tonight you would invest in and why. Your winner and runner-up, up to 2 teams. So let's start with Leanne. Leanne, can you tell us first, who would be your runner-up out of the teams and why?
Look, my runner-up out of the teams would have to be I actually don't want to do two. I want to do one. I just want to go straight to one, and that is...
So you're giving them all the money, only to one?
Yeah. Strip supply for me, I think, is answering a very real problem, huge reach in the market, supply chains established. If she can answer the problem of the the regulation risk, I think you've got something there that's really quite substantial.
Excellent. Thank you. And you don't want another team?
No, I back one horse.
Excellent. So next to you, Tanya.
So many great presentations there tonight and great businesses. Very hard to choose on this, but my runner-up, I think, this evening is Bloom. I really like the concept. I really like the investment side of things. I think it's something that we have a lot of young people very passionate about, wanting to, to make investments in a really sustainable way. So I really like that business model. And the business that I would put as the one that I would invest the money in this evening as the winner would be Wine Valet. I think just such a great... it ticks two boxes for me. I'm very big on data, so I love the aspect of the data that is being collected, and I also really like the concept of solving that problem and delivering what the customer wants. So a really great business model at both ends, and really like what they're doing, and a great presentation.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And now, James, who will be your runner-up?
Yeah, the runner-up for me tonight is Wine Valet, and I would just make the point that everyone sitting in this room is here to support UQ Ventures and support UQ organisations. They told you the app was live. It is. I downloaded it while they were talking. It's super crisp, and you guys all should too right now. Get out your phone, download their app, sign up to it. If we're here to support ventures, let's support them. They've got a product that's live. Download it, engage with it. I've been a Naked Wines client for, 15 years or something now, so I get how sticky good wine subscriptions are, so that's really great. But the one that caught my attention, and because I consider investing it in real life, so it's kind of cheating, is Strip Supply, Ash from Strip Supply. So yeah, she gets my dollars.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Nimrod, and the panel for your insights. Now, you have about 1 more minute left to vote. So while we're doing that, I believe we have Jess Gallagher coming to the stage. Is this the right order? Yes, it is. All right, Jess is going to join the stage for a few words.
Thanks so much. So amazing job, obviously, to all of our ilab founders. They've done a fantastic job this evening. And I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate all of them for completing a really rigorous 3-month accelerator program, especially in hybrid format, because there were some times where we needed to quickly go from face-to-face to online with the lockdowns. Through UQ Ventures, we're focused on creating a hub for innovators and entrepreneurial minds who are supported at every stage of their journey, working alongside our amazing staff and alumni communities, as well as connecting to a wide global network. We really believe that through Ventures and through the range of support mechanisms available at UQ, that we'll be able to equip our graduates with the knowledge and skills needed to chart their own paths and to drive innovation across a wide range of industries and sectors. For the ilab Accelerator program, it's our goal to provide a platform, the tools, and the mentorship to empower founders to create successful and sustainable businesses. And as you've seen, the startups tonight are certainly well on their way. We've been working really hard to increase diversity and to harness the opportunities that emerge by bringing together participants from around the world. Our current cohort is made up of 19 remarkable founders from really diverse disciplines and backgrounds: business, engineering, humanities, social sciences, and mining. We've got wine tasters, boating enthusiasts, AI gurus, people experts, health advocates, and environmental champions. As Nimrod noted, it's an incredibly international group, and so as part of the program, we've been able to connect participants with experts and peers from the US, India, Indonesia, France, Colombia, and the UK. This has ultimately led founders to consider cross-cultural needs and to unlock their innovations. I'm also really proud to say that we're making significant progress on addressing some of the gender imbalances that exist within the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And this includes expanding opportunities and improving our female founder ratios. It gives me particular pleasure to tell you that 42% of the current cohort are women. This builds on only 18% in 2020. And this work, of course, is not just limited to ilab. We've seen outstanding participation in our Leaders program, which is our leadership and confidence building program available to current students. This program has grown by more than 350% over the past 2 years, and last year we had more than 630 participants. To address the demand, we've expanded the number of Leaders programs running in 2021, and will soon launch our first Leaders for PhD scholars. We really believe in the power of these programs to expose and to harness all of the talent that Australia has on offer. So, okay, I think that voting has now closed. So thank you all very much for sharing your thoughts on the pitches this evening. While we wait for the team to get those results together, I would like to take the opportunity to thank our amazing panel. We're really, really grateful, Leanne, Tanya and James, for giving your time today and to putting our founders through their paces. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank our 2 incredible entrepreneurs in residence, Sam Jockel and Yotam Rosenberg. I know that Yotam's somewhere there, but Sam's hiding behind the stage. And also to our ilab manager, Emily De La Pena. They've all worked so tirelessly to support our passionate entrepreneurs over the past 3 months, providing guidance, support, and sharing their real-world business experiences. My thanks to the entire Ventures team for making this event a possibility. It's been so wonderful to be able to have the live audience and to really enjoy the enthusiasm and the energy in the room, as well as make the event available online. So thank you to everybody who has joined us online. I know that your support means a great deal to our founders here this evening. As Nimrod said, this would not be possible without the enormous support from our network of mentors, advisors and guest speakers, many of whom have joined us this evening. Thank you so very much. We really, really appreciate your ongoing support. Before I announce the winner for this evening, I'd like to take one final opportunity to help for you to join us with congratulating all of our teams this evening. Okay, I feel like we should have a drum roll now. It's very exciting getting the piece of paper. Should we do a bit of a roll? All right, it is my great pleasure to announce that the ilab Entrepreneur of the Year, which, as we mentioned at the beginning, is a $5,000 cash prize and a really generous sponsorship from BDO, valued over $8,000 for the recipient to participate in the next startup program. The winner of the 2021 ilab Entrepreneur of the Year is Strip Supply, Ashley Hanger.
Wow, this is so unexpected. Thank you so much. I'm so passionate about raising awareness for diabetes, and no, I'm not going to cry. I see every day the toll diabetes takes on just one person, and it blows my mind that 1.7 million people in Australia have to deal with this every day. So I'm so excited to bring Strip Supply to life and to help just a small fraction of those people, or all of them, you know. But obviously I have to thank every single member of the UQ Ventures team, Jessica, Nimrod, Emily, Yotam, Sam. You've all been absolutely amazing. carrying me through this journey. But I really, really want to thank every single founder on this stage, because I have learned something from each and every one of you, and your knowledge and your wisdom and your generosity has just been amazing through this whole journey, and I can't wait to continue it with all of you. So thank you so much.
You all did an amazing job, so congratulations. That's going to wrap us up for this evening. I'm going to pass back to Ben, but thank you again so much for joining us and for your ongoing support.
All right. Thank you, Jess. So we've done it. We've made it to the end. Thank you once again for coming tonight. Please stick around for some drinks. It's all on UQ, and some food. We're going to be taking some photos up here on stage with all the teams, and then the founders will be positioned at tables around the outside for you to go up and ask your questions. And I'd just love to reiterate what James said. You know, it's on you guys to support these teams. You know, you might not think something immediately the way you can help them, but there is a way. Find a way. A lot of our first investors were UQ alumni and network, so please go do that. For the final time, please, let's give it up for everybody involved tonight. Thank you.